Welcome to FoundHER Voice Podcast, the space for bold, empowering, raw, and unfiltered conversations about business, relationships, and everything that makes us fierce. No filters, no fluff, just real talk. We're back with season 3 and we're going even deeper. Get ready to own your voice, break barriers, and step into your power unapologetically. Let's get into it.
Hey everybody, we're back with FoundHER Voice Podcast. I am your host, Valerie. And as you all know, I am really big into helping women in any way that I possibly can. That being said, I know that October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I see a lot of posts. I see it online all the time, as I'm sure you guys do too. Okay? So I wanted to do this special episode on domestic violence because I want every woman out here to know that domestic violence isn't just physical abuse. Okay? So I'm going to be, telling you the different signs of domestic violence. Okay? And it starts out as little things that lead up to bigger things. Okay? If you don't know who I am a mama first, right? I love empowering women. I love now coaching women since I came up with my whole new program for coaching women. It's where my heart lies. I love collaborating with women. I have this awesome website and it has lots of merch on there. So you may want to go check that out. It's www.foundhercircle.com. Okay. So head on over there, check those shirts out. As always, make sure that you like, follow, subscribe, share, bring all the women over and let's just connect, okay? Let's collaborate. Let's support each other because that is what it's all about. Okay, so ladies, let's see. When love hurts, unmasking the hidden faces of domestic violence, okay? So like I said, it's not just physical, ladies. It's not. And women that have been through domestic violence will tell you that it starts with just the little things, okay? Last year, I spent all of October recording different women that had went through domestic violence, their situations, okay? And how they are all thriving now, okay? Because they all got out of those relationships. It took them time, and they kept going back and going back. And then finally, they just had that breaking point where they said enough is enough. Or maybe if I don't get out of here, he's going to kill me. And it's very well a possibility, right? So, women that are in relationships, I want you to know that, there's a pattern of domestic behavior and it's used to gain control, of course, right? It's physical, it's emotional, it's financial, it's digital, it's spiritual. I mean, they pull on all the strings, right? And I will say that these are red flags. So let's start with, I took notes, okay? And it wants to start with physical abuse, but I don't want to start with physical abuse because I want to start with emotional abuse first, okay? So that could be criticism, it could be gaslighting, or isolation, okay? There's a lot of men and women that I see that criticizes their partners and they think it's funny. They think, oh, it's just ha ha here, ha ha there, right? No, it's not, okay? And then, of course, gaslighting. So you just go off and ignore the person, or isolation, you isolate them from something, right? That's not right. You do not do that in relationships. You guys are together to better each other, to help each other thrive. The red flags are confusion, self doubt, and walking on eggshells. Okay? So do you feel like you have to watch what you say and what you do when they're around? That's a red flag, honey. Are you self doubting what you just said, self doubting what you did, what you saw, what you heard? Red flag, honey. And then confusion, they're always confusing you. I didn't say that. You just made that up. You didn't see that. Oh, well, you took it like this and it really wasn't that. Honey, honey, honey. Your gut does not give you that feeling for a reason. There is a reason you have those gut feelings because these are red flags. This is how it starts. Okay? Verbal abuse, yelling, threatening, degrading comments. Okay? So the red flags are fear of speaking, public, are they yelling at you out in public? Are they degrading you, calling you names, causing a scene? You know, that's all red flags because they shouldn't do that. You are better than that. Okay? Now, let's get into digital abuse. So this would be like monitoring the phone, social media control. Okay? So fear of being watched, no privacy, right? So they're checking your phone, they're checking your social media, all the things, okay? They don't need to do that. Like, seriously. Why do you need to check each other's phones? Why do you need to check each other's social media all the time? You should trust each other. If you don't have trust, then that is not a great relationship, okay? I'm going to tell you, men and women are shady. They really are. You can have a happily married man and, they look all lovey dovey outside in society. And then behind closed doors, it's a different environment for that woman, for the kids, you know. And I've seen it. I've seen these men that act like, oh, they're so happy, but then they have a side piece, right? Like, why? Why do you need to do that? If you need a side piece, then you need to get out of that relationship because that relationship's not for you. But that's just how I feel. Okay? So, spiritual and religious abuse. So, they're using your faith to control or shame you. So, they're disconnecting you from your beliefs, religious guilt trips, of course. And I will say that I have a bunch of sisters, they're big in their church, they're big in their ministry, and they will tell me stories of these people that are in this church, and they believe that these rules do not apply to them. So, yes, there are preachers that have been named that I know that, yep, they got a wife. They go in and they tell the church to do this, this, and this. But those rules don't apply to them. I'm sorry. Yes, they do. They do apply to you, honey. Okay. And then a big one that I saw is financial abuse. Okay. I see this all the time on social media. You have the man that works, and then you have the mom that stays at home and she takes care of the house, the cooking, the cleaning. She takes care of the kids. She runs all the errands. She does it all. Okay. That man thinks that all he needs to do is get up and go to work, come home, and then he can go do whatever he wants to do. He pays the bills. That's all he needs to do. Like, do you not know this is 2025, sir? Because that doesn't work nowadays, okay? Like, controlling the money, sabotaging work, no access to funds, job interference. Like, oh, well, I made the money, so I can buy this. But, you're struggling to get clothes and shoes and diapers and milk for your kids. Red flag, honey. And then there's sexual abuse. I want to point this out because I've heard of situations like this. And last year, I had a woman on the podcast that really went into detail about it. And I was like, I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine being married to a man and, him forcing himself on you or, having that control of you, right? So feeling violated, used, unsafe intimacy, those are red flags. And I will tell you that this woman that I am talking about, she had an incident of unsafe intimacy. You'll have to go back and you'll have to watch that episode. But she literally had a handgun stuck up in her. And she thought that he was going to kill her because he was going to pull the trigger at that point in time. Okay? This just goes to show you that these men are absolutely ridiculous out here. And you need to know who you're getting into a relationship with. Because it starts with the little red flags and then it builds up to those bigger red flags, okay? Last one, physical abuse, okay? So most of these men will do all of these other types of abuse first because they know that people can't see that. They can't see those marks, right? That's why they do it. That's why they do the emotional, the verbal, the sexual, the financial, the digital, the spiritual, because no one can see what they do, But with the physical abuse, then there's marks. People can see those, right? So that's like their last resort. So hitting, slapping, choking, pushing, preventing you from eating or sleeping. The red flags would be unexplained injuries, blaming the victim. So I've known that these women have a broken arm, a broken shoulder, a broken ankle, dislocated their kneecaps because they accidentally fell down the stairs. But it wasn't accidentally. He pushed her down the stairs. He grabbed her by the hair and he threw her down the stairs. And she got up and she went to the hospital. And he actually drove her there. And he went back there in the room and he sat there with her. They did the x-rays, they asked her the questions, but she just accidentally fell down the steps because she's clumsy, right? And the whole way to the hospital, he's just so sorry. He's never going to do this again. You just said something to piss him off. I'm sorry, sir, but I don't give a shit what I say to you. If you get that mad to put your hands on me, you have a problem. You need help. That's what that is, okay? So, ladies, I want you to know that if you are going through it, there is help out here for you, okay? And yes, you can't tell everyone what you're going through, but you can tell someone. And you need to make a plan to get out of there. If that is staying because you don't have the finances to get out, honey, there's all kinds of ways that you can get money, okay? For instance, this woman told me that she would sell little things in her house, okay? She would sell little things at a time in her house. She would get that money and she would save it. She'd put it behind because she was saving money to move. Other women have said that when they would go to the grocery store, that they would get gift cards for groceries. So like $25 here, $50 there, because they didn't have to show the receipts, right? They would just save those gift cards and they would put them behind So they made sure that when they left, they had food to feed their kids. Okay. Or they would get gift cards for, you know, other stores so they could go buy what they needed when they left, right? There's been women that has left in the middle of the night, took the kids and the clothes on their back, and that's it. There's been women that have saved up, rented a house, had one friend come and help her move while the husband was on a business trip. And he came home to a fully furnished house, looked like nothing was missing, but she wasn't there and the kids wasn't there. So there's always ways to get out of these relationships. And I want you guys to know that if you're in these relationships too, you need to watch your phones. You need to delete messages. You need to delete, photos. You need to make sure that you are taking photos of things that you may need in court. Okay? And then you need to hide those photos somehow, some way, if it's saving it in a Google document or, somewhere. Just save it somewhere so you have them, but delete it off your phone. And always make sure that, you keep in contact with one person. And maybe you don't have one person. And that's totally understandable because there's many cases where women move out of state to be with a guy and then they're isolated from friends and family. They don't have anyone to turn to. But there's always that hotline. That hotline being 1-800-799-SAFE. Okay? And you can call it or you can text it. And when you text it, all you have to do is text it START. START. Okay? And you can talk to a trusted person or counselor. So I want you guys to know that there is women out there to help you. We will all come together when needed. Okay? Make sure that you know that you are not alone. You are not crazy and you do not deserve this. Please make sure that you guys know that not all men are the same. Okay? And what one man won't do, trust me, there's another man out there that will. Okay? So don't tell yourself that if you have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 kids, 2 or 3 baby daddies, and you're with this new man, that there's not a man out there for you, because there is. Okay? So, if you guys need anything, please reach out. I will help where I can. I will direct you in the direction, that you need. But I just want you to know that 1 out of every 4 women experience domestic violence in their lifetime. Okay? And that it's always not physical. Not physical for a reason, right? Because they know once you see the marks, then their mask is removed and people can see the true them, right? And I also want to talk about the narcissist because narcissists are real big on different types of abuse. Okay? So gaslighting, criticism, financial abuse, digital abuse, always making you think that they didn't say something that they did, right? And I see so many women going through it on all my platforms. And, you sit back and you say, why? Why do you stay? Why do you put up with it? And 9 times out of 10, it's the women staying because 1, they don't have finances, or 2, because of the kids. But I'm here to tell you that those kids see it. They hear it. It is doing more damage to them being in this kind of relationship than you being a single mom. So just know that, okay? That those kids deserve better. You deserve better. And there's better out there waiting for you. But you have to take the steps. You have to say, enough is enough. Fuck this. And I'm out. Right? And I see a lot of women too saying that, well, when I leave, I'm not going to ask for support or whatever the case may be. I've talked to women that has said that, and then I've talked to other women that have said, I don't know why when women leave men, they don't ask for support. They are causing their self to struggle. No, you ask for support, okay? You get that support money because those kids deserve it. Now, those kids may not need to see him for a while, depending on, what he's done, what he said, what's been happening in your household, but this is why you have a whole case built. You have notes, you have timestamps, dates. You have to do the whole file. You have to create the whole file ahead of time. Okay? Because you want to make sure that when you go into that court, when you get a lawyer, that you are like, he doesn't need these kids. And here's why. Here's the pictures. Here's all the things that I've been documenting over the past year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. Okay? And also, reach out in these groups. Like, there's all kinds of mom groups. Get you a shark lawyer, ladies. I'm telling you, because those are the best ones. And, a lot of these men, maybe they have drug and alcohol abuse problems, right? Make sure that you tell your lawyer, everything. If he has a problem, bring it up, because then he's going to have to do some kind of class or some kind of treatment before he can see these kids. And then maybe you just want visitation, like supervised visitation for a period of time. Bring that up to your lawyer, because you don't want your kids sitting here with a narcissist that's drunk or high, or you don't know what he's put into his body, right? Because at that point, then he's just going to use the kids against you. Ladies, please take a long look at your relationship. I want you to know that everything starts out with a relationship in that honeymoon phase, right? And then comes the tension, the explosion, the apology, and then it repeats itself over and over and over until you say it's enough, okay? But you have to do it. And always trust your gut. Ask yourself, are you shrinking or are you growing in this relationship? If you're shrinking, this isn't the relationship for you. If you're growing, this is your relationship. Okay? And always keep a hidden journal with everything written down. Dates, times, everything. Okay? Because you're going to need it. I love you all. And I want nothing but the best for each and every one of you. And I know that women, sometimes you're just naive. You don't think that it's abuse. But hopefully, after seeing this episode and it all broken down for you, maybe you will see patterns and you will stop and think, oh my God, he does that. If he does that now, what's he going to do next? Right? So Stop being silenced. Don't put up with them red flags. Get out before it's too late. Okay? If you have kids, your kids need you. They see you. They hear it. And when they see you putting up with it, that tells them that, one, for a girl, that it's okay. It's okay for a man to do this to me. If it's a boy, you're letting him see that it's okay for him to do this to his wife or his girlfriend when he gets older. It's okay. It's okay for him to speak to his wife or girlfriend and say these things to her. Do these types of things to her. But guess what? It's not. And if you don't want it done to you, and if you know that it's wrong, why would you let your kids sit there and watch it and hear it to be passed along to them? This is how we change the world. We break them curses. We say enough is enough. We're not dealing with this. And we move on. Because you have that right. Go find some mom support groups. Reach out. You guys can always DM me. I'm here for you. But know that there are women here to help you. And always support another woman. Because at the end of the day, you never know what that woman is going through. You don't know what hides behind that smile. You can think that they are the sweetest, nicest couple out eating. They have kids, beautiful family. But what you don't know is when they go home and he walks through that door, he takes off that mask. And then she's left there dealing with it. And she holds that all in because she's embarrassed, because she thinks that it's her fault. She thinks, well, if I would just do this, or if I would look this way, or if I wouldn't have said that, or if I didn't wear that, or if I would have dressed more like this, that he would love me more. Honey, it has nothing to do with you. Nothing at all. He is a broken individual. You are not for him. So please know that. Make sure to go like, subscribe, share, comment. Make sure that you check out the ads after this, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.
It's your time to grow. Get started with Little Pot Design Studio today.